Hello and welcome to the Monster Sanctuary Tournament Circuit. Today we're going to be casting the semifinals of the 5th tournament of Season 1, Grid Draft. I'm Marsh.
And I'm Smug Looking Barrel, and this match is between Dos Equis and FlowingJuffowup. So, Dos Equis will be on the left during the grid draft and on the right during the games. So, let's get started with the drafting phase. We see quite a few healers here, as well as some good debuff support.
Yeah, there's some buffs as well with Kanko.
Yeah, and Flowing is going to start right away with Kanko and Grulu, whereas Freeman is going to pick 3 great healers. So Freeman gets first pick of the next draft, where we see quite a variety of different things.
Some good DPSs for sure with Brawlish and Drakazul, Spinner.
Yeah, Freeman is going to take a great DPS in Spinner, and Flowing is going to grab Mega Rock, who synergizes well with Kanko's channel synergy. Next up, we see a great support in Targoat that likely will get picked immediately, and yes, it is, along with Draco Gran. And Flowing is going to respond with some damage healers of his own, as well as Restore from Sycophantum.
Yeah, it looks like there's some good buffers here with Thanatos,
which Freeman is going to snap up right away, as well as a great damage dealer in Draco Nor, also to keep that out of Flowing's hands. And Flowing is going to end off with Virtrag, who is a great aging support, and Toxicus, who Flowing has sort of brought back. It's a monster that's often not considered very good, but Flowing likes it a lot and does great work with it. So we do see Freeman has what looks like a buff-based aggressive team, but has great supports and is very resilient to debuffs with at least 2 instances of Mass Restore, while Flowing has a little bit of everything. He's got Charge, he's got great attackers, he's got some healing.
He's got great buffs with free instances of multi-channel as well. So that could be an idea for a lineup.
So we could definitely see some sort of channeling balance team coming out from Flowing.
Yeah, there's multi-regen with Grulu as well. A lot of buffs.
Well, going into game 1, let's see what we get. So Flowing will be on the left for the games, and because he is higher seed, he gets first turn. And he's going to lead with Targoat, Grulu, and Cat Zerker, which is a very interesting composition. Grulu and Cat Zerker work well together, having regeneration synergies, but Cat Zerker is not a common damage dealer. We see Grulu attacking first with Solar Burst, able to build quite a bit of combo. And let's see if Cat Zerker can take out something on the first turn. Big long slash, and the bleed knocks down Goblin King.
Yeah, it looks like both players have quite fast teams, so the first turn was really crucial, and Flowing capitalized on it very well with a knockout.
Absolutely. Dos Equis here has to use both of his support's actions to get Draconor back up to full health, and he is able to do it and get a few buffs, but Draconor misses several hits of that Shadow Grasp, and Cat Zerker survives, even though it's quite frail.
Yeah, Draco Noir needs quite a lot of setup here to actually, and with the misses, it's quite hard to get the KO the first turn it's in. So the Cat Zerker is gonna respond with quite strong.
Yeah, Cat Zerker, on the other hand, while it had quite a few blind stacks, it has Sure Strike, so for the first hit, and Long Slash only does a single hit, it can't be dodged at all, and that was pivotal in that game, allowing Cat Zerker to bypass Sutsune's dodge.
Yeah, Cat Zerker is doing really well here. It just dodged every hit.
That poison bomb. That agility and spell shield buff absolutely paying for themselves in gold for Flowing's Cat Zerker in this first game. Dos Equis has 2 really strong damage dealers, but unfortunately almost all of his monsters right now are very frail, which means it's likely that Cat Zerker can take something out here. Goes for the Fatal Cut, and looks like it'll be able to take out both monsters, and Flowing forfeit, so that's a very quick game 1. We'll see if either player makes any adaptations, and it looks like Flowing is rolling with the same team, while Dos Equis has switched it up. Though Flowing makes a different lead this game.
Yeah, probably try to preserve Cat Zerker as it is quite frail turn one.
Yeah, and Doseki seems to want to do the same. He's trying to preserve his Goblin King, which in the first game got targeted down and didn't get to do anything. So he's leaving that in the back and leading with his Spinner, which has Concealed and thus is much less risky to run out on the first turn, able to get a Sticky Web off and do heavy damage to all of Flowing's monsters, and because of Sutsune's Bleed Out, those bleed stacks remain.
Yeah, and it will be hard for Flowing to heal all of his monsters at the same time, unless he gets high regeneration stacks.
Yeah, really his only method of healing his entire team is through regeneration buffs from Grillu, and that can help, but it's not going to out heal a Spinner's damage. On the other end, Mega Rock is able to go and use a Leaf Slash, which also bypasses dodge, and knock out that Setsune.
Yeah, Leaf Slash is a very useful tool to be able to take out Setsune here.
Absolutely. Now, Dos Equis has an opportunity to try and get some damage in with Spinner. The Sticky Web is able to knock out that Veer Track, and the Bleed takes out Grillu, and that's very important for Spinner because it has Killing Dance. When it knocks a monster out, it refreshes its charge stacks, and that'll make it much more likely that Spinner can get another knockout this turn, assuming it survives through this turn.
Yeah, but Deep Wounds really helps to just make that bleed damage do even more.
Absolutely. And here, Spinner's resistance is working in Dos Equis' favor. Mega Rock has Leaf Slash, which can't be dodged, but Spinner resists Earth damage. So likely, there's basically no way Mega Rock will be able to knock Spinner out with it. It could go for a Fiery Punches, but we see 36% dodge chance on that Spinner. His odds of hitting it aren't that high, so instead opts to take out the Sycophantom.
And yeah, the dodge is incredibly useful here.
Yeah, and it looks like this is a support Goblin King, or Dos Equis brought it in, had it in last game alongside another damage dealer. So I'm interested to see what kind of action it will take. Goblin King can get power and might be able to set up for Spinner. No, we do see it attacking with Fatal Cut.
Maybe a combo builder.
Remove a few buffs and get a wound stack down, and it seems like Spinner does not need support from another power user to deal enough damage. But yeah, we see Conka retaliating with an Air Sickle, and Goblin King survives, but Cat Zerker attacks, and Goblin King survives again, just barely tanking both of those hits. We see it's using the Grey Pearl, which gives it great toughness. And Dos Equis is able to reply in game 2 in convincing fashion.
Yeah, very quick game so far.
Yeah. We see quite a big shift up from Dos Equis in this third game. He's brought in Plague Egg and Rocky. So hoping to have maybe a more defensive team. He also has light shifted Thanatos. Thanatos gets Light Instinct, which is major damage reduction as its light shift. So that should help it be less frail. Unfortunately, Goblin King has 2 instances of armor break on it on turn 1, which Dos Equis was probably not hoping for, and it might lead to it going down this turn. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it looks like it does go down, but it does give Dos Equis a chance to try to respond.
Yeah, Dos Equis brings in his Draconor, is going to set it up with some full offense. Interesting to see what this Plague Egg will do. They're great healers, but what Dos Equis would really want in this situation is another monster who can both heal and buff up his Draconor, because he needs to take out this Cat Zerker. We do see the Soul Beam, and not getting super lucky with the dodges this time, the Soul Beam is able to knock out that Cat Zerker. And Draconor buffing himself with Critical Mass.
Yeah, the Cat Zerker is just so frail that even with some dodge, it might have not survived.
Yeah, probably not. I'm also curious to see if Soul Beam was an adaptation after seeing that Cat Zerker was a big threat, because I don't think Dos Equis was using it in those first couple games.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, Targo is going to set up with the Mega Protect, able to keep its teammates safe and apply several charge stacks to them. And it looks like Mega Rock might be able to knock out this Draconor. That looks very close. Look at all those buffs on Draconor.
Yeah, the burn might take it down after the hits here.
Yeah, Flowing could almost certainly knock out this Plague Egg, or it could take the risk and try and knock out Draco Nor, and it just barely survives. I think part of that was because both Draco Nor and Plague Egg have curse resistance, which gives his entire team 40% reduced debuff damage, and that might have saved Nor. Unfortunately, because he needed to spend both his support's actions on healing, he wasn't able to break Protect, and Targoat's Mass Protector able to seriously lessen the damage of that Shadow Storm.
Yeah, the protect really helps because it kind of forces Draconor to use an AoE move.
Yeah,
Unless it wants to target down Targo.
yeah. Looking at that damage, it might actually have been able to knock out Targoat, though maybe not. And this
Yeah,
means that
it would be very much up to crit.
yeah, Flowing now chooses to take out Plague Egg, but this means Dos Equis is able to bring in Rocky. It does have the full restore, so it's able to cleanse all of the debuffs off of Draconor, but Thanatos is still quite low, so it needs to either heal itself or use a move to break Protect. Instead, it chooses to use full offense and set up that Draconor even more. I think it only applied one glory buff, but that was enough for it to knock out the Targoat.
Yeah, it's probably going to die this turn, but considering the Draconor is very well buffed, it still gives Dos Equis good chances to try to wipe with Shadow Storm.
Yeah, Draconor is a massive threat here, and we see a few mana issues for Mega Rock. It has all these powerful moves, but it has poor mana and really relies on channel or age stacks to sustain itself. And in this case, it doesn't. It seems to not have enough of them. However, it's able to knock out that Rocky, and the debuff damage is able to take out Thanatos, which leaves Dos Equis with just 2 monsters. So while he's in a really good position with his Draconor, being unable to get a knockout here, he has to forfeit.
Yeah, probably because having only 2 monsters really limits your combo, so the Draconor can't really do that much damage there.
Yeah. So we see Dos Equis switching back to the old team is going to keep with the Thanatos and Sitsune to set up this Spinner. And we see Spinner going for the Sticky Web, but probably not getting as much damage as Dos Equis had hoped. I think he got a Slime Skin proc there that applied a stack of weakness to the Spinner before it could attack. And this gives Flowing a chance to set up his own monsters.
Yeah, Flowing has a good chance to counterattack here.
Yeah.
Also, Flowing decided to bring out Dracozil and Dracogran.
Yeah, we see an interesting move on Veertrag that isn't commonly run. He's running a level 1 Healing Wave, and the reason he's doing that is because Veertrag has Purify, and if you use Purify with an Area of Effect healing move, it will remove 2 harmful stacks from your whole team, and that can be very useful fighting Spinner, who applies Tether and Bleed to the whole team with Sticky Web.
And then also Draconor applies Blind, so I think it's a good move here.
Yeah, I like that adaptation. Spinner going for the fiery stabs, and the bleed stack, the bleed itself does 10,000 damage to that Mega Rock. And that's important because Sutune has Splatter, which means that 10,000 damage bleed is now spread onto Konko and Veertrag. Veertrag can get rid of some of it with his Purify, but probably not all of it.
Yeah, and because of Bleed Out, the damage will sustain and hit every single turn until Setsune is dead.
Absolutely. So that is going to put Flowing in a difficult position, though we see Dracogran having quite good previews. It has probably the best tool for fighting Spinner, a wind magical attack that can't be dodged, and likely is going to be able to knock out Spinner with this Whirlwind. That preview is looking good.
Yeah, and the Fire Breath could also be good here, but it looks like, taking down the Spinner is very important here.
Yeah, Flowing chooses to play safe, just goes for the single target hit. Dos Equis is able to reply and bring in his Goblin King, which I like here into this team because a Fatal Cut hits super effectively on both Dracogran and Veertrag, and it also applies Bleed. So here we see it. coming down quite a lot of damage, and Goblin King has Cleanse, which combined there with Sutsune's Cleansing Sidekick to steal some of the buffs from Dracogran and give them to the Goblin King, who now has a huge number of buffs.
Yeah, this Goblin King is incredibly powerful right now, so Flowing has to take it out this turn or risk losing with just getting wiped.
Yeah. He does have good tools to do it, though. He has the Dracogran, who also has good physical attacks. He has Konko, who has good physical attacks. In fact, it looks like Konko, assuming it doesn't miss, can knock out Goblin King with an explosion.
Yeah, it looks like it, but risking the 20% chance could be quite dangerous here.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do. So goes for the Air Sickle instead, and misses a few crits there, isn't able to knock out this Goblin King, but because that was only his second action, he has the option to just have Dracogran finish it off if he wants to.
Yeah, Flowing could go for the Fire Breath here, but it might not kill the Goblin King, so it might be a bit risky.
Yeah, he does go for it here, and he is able to get the crit on both hits of Fire Breath, and that does knock out the Goblin King. So, Dos Equis is able to bring in his Draco Noir, but the threat of bleed is mostly past, while Dos Equis will be able to keep the original bleed around because of bleed out from Sutsune. Draco Noir can't really apply more, but it can do pretty good damage. We see the Shadow Storm coming in and able to knock out both Konko and Virtrag with the damage from the bleed, and Dracogran is quite low now, without a good way to heal him up.
Yeah, Flowing is in quite a tough position here, considering he can't really heal unless he waits for regen, which will probably not save him.
Yeah. He needs to make offense happen this turn, where if he can bring Dos Equis down to just 1 or 2 monsters, he might be okay. But we do see Sycophantum in the back. It has Revive, and Sutsune also has Revive. So Flowing needs to play his cards right here, or he'll be left with Dos Equis able to have double Revive.
Yeah, he might have to hope for the debuffs to kill that Thanatos here. Because otherwise, I'm not sure he can come back from this.
Yeah, this looks to be a damage-dealing Dracozul, and it is able to kill the Draco Noir. A
lot of extra procs
ice
there.
Damage helping out. But Sycophantum does come in, it's able to revive this Draco Noir. Thanatos is able to set up a ton of buffs onto it. And now Draco Noir wants to choose what it's going to do. It's going to go for the Dark Shroud, and it does knock out the Dracozul. But Dracogran, with the regeneration buffs, barely survives that bleed damage. So this is actually not a one game for either player. We'll see how Flowing decides to play this.
Yeah, Flowing would definitely like to get at least 1 KO here, because Dracogran is probably going to die of bleed.
Yeah. Does go for the Fire Claws and is able to knock out that Sycophantum. That was probably the best target, as it has Revive and could just bring back either of the other monsters. But Thanatos is able to heal up Draco Noir, and it's able to knock out Dracogran with Claws. Garulu comes in, and it's going to try and take out this Thanatos with Acid Rain. Looks like it's going to be very close, and it does fall, so both players down to a single monster.
Yeah, this probably will be quite close, and Infinity Stacks are here. Yeah. So the high dodge on Draconor makes this kind of tough for Flowing, but as long as he gets enough debuffs and with Cleanse, Draconor, it will be tough for him to gain back some of the buffs.
Yeah, Garulu has the advantage of aging. Draconor has the advantage of an enormous stack of buffs. Just so many buffs. And Garulu is also starting to feel the pinch of not having enough mana. It wants to use very expensive skills every turn and doesn't have great base mana. Normally, you solve this by having teammates that can help it sustain. We've seen Flowing using Channel in all of these games, but it doesn't have any of that now, and this means it's not able to fire off max level acid rains every turn. But it also has Cleanse, so it's slowly chipping away at these buffs.
There's a huge stack of debuffs on Draconor, which will chip away at it every single turn. And Dust
That's true
Equis is
too.
probably doesn't have time to use an antidote here to try to overcome that.
Yeah, we see here him using a big potion, which is able to heal Draconor back up to full HP. And Flowing, considering his options too, he's gonna go for the Acid Rain again. And with the debuffs, it's slowly wearing down this Draconor. Goes for the Dark Shroud, but Grulu does survive it. We see between the regeneration buffs and its natural healing, Grulu is able to heal quite a bit, whereas Draconor seems to be only taking damage unless Dos Equis chooses to heal it with a potion.
Yeah, Flowing is probably deciding between attacking and I don't think Draconor will go down to debuffs, but Dos Equis is in a very tough spot here.
Yeah, it goes for the Soul Beam.
Oh wow!
And with
Huge
5
damage.
stacks of Infinity, it is able to knock out that Virtrag, which means we're going on to Game 5.
Yeah, very
Flowing
close
getting the
game.
first turn for this last game and makes another adaptation. He's going to bring in Yowie, which is a healer we don't often see, but it's the only mon on that Flowing drafted that has access to Congeal, and he's seeing that using Chill and denying the opponent's mana may be a way to victory here. Dos Equis is also running something different with Dark Shifted Rocky, probably as a damage dealer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Dos Equis will be able to clear all these debuffs, considering Baraki is a damage dealer here. Because normally you'd just use Mass Restore to try to get rid of a Chill, but here I'm not sure.
Yeah, we also see this is a shield bursting Kame together with Yowie that has overheal. So it's able to convert its healing into a shield to set up Kame's shield burst, which can hopefully deal some major damage, especially to that Thanatos who's weak to magic damage. But Dos Equis is able to clear the debuffs and set up his Rocky, and we see the Leaf Slash coming down, able to do quite severe damage to that Dracozul.
Yeah, but it looks like Flowing will be able to heal it back to full, which makes it survive probably another turn if it's buffed
Yeah,
up.
we see just great healing previews from Yowie, able to heal Dracozul back up to full health with this sustained heal and get a bunch of shielding onto Kame. So that shield burst is looking quite nasty, especially with 3 chill debuffs on Thanatos and Congeal.
Yeah, Thanatos will probably go down to Shield Burst because the dodge won't help.
Yeah, we see the Ice Claws coming down, able to deal a fair bit of damage to this Rocky and bring it back up to 3 chill debuffs, so it'll be taking more damage from Congealed. We do see the Shield Burst, and Thanatos does die from Congealed. One interesting thing about Congealed is it does the damage before any healing effects, so if the target has regeneration buffs or something like that, Congealed can kill you before those trigger. Sycophantum, who seems to be hurting a little bit on mana by itself, is going to go for an antidote to clear those debuffs, and Rocky goes for the Leaf Slash and is able to knock out Dracozul.
Yeah, knocking out Dracozul is quite good here because the chill was really eating away at Psychophantom and Rocky here.
Yeah, that's probably Flowing's chill application gone, but the 3 chill debuffs that are on Sycophantom will continue to deal their damage as long as Yowie's here. And it's able to heal up the team, and we see it triggering its Hexing Rod to apply more debuffs.
Using Fortress to get some buffs and shielding to be able to set up the next shield burst here.
Yep, and now Flowing needs to pick who he's attacking. He likely can't get a knockout here, but he's able to deal quite severe damage to the Setsune. We do see Sycophantum is able to heal it up, and Setsune does have the Mass Restore, so it can really help with all these debuffs, though it misses all 3 chill debuffs on that Sycophantum.
Yeah, it makes the Sycophantom is probably going to have to use another antidote to try to clear debuffs rather than restore.
Yeah, and we see Spore coming out from Rocky, targeting that Kame, but Yowie does taunt it, so it's able to keep the Kame healthy and at full shield, but we see 3 weakness debuffs Rocky has an ability called Tranquility that makes it so that allied spirits, including itself and Sycophantum, apply a weakness debuff to the enemy after each action. And with the slow pace of this game and Flowing not really having a good way to remove debuffs himself, those have been really adding up and means that almost every monster on Flowing's team has 3 weakness debuffs.
Yeah, and but chill isn't helping either because Kame couldn't use level 2 shield burst there.
Yeah, that's also true. So we see more damage, and not often we see Rocky triggering Sutsune's cleansing sidekick, but it's able to steal some of the buffs from Kame while chipping away at its shield. So seems like now neither team is really able to put up significant offense, but we see both players have a damage dealer with aging, so it sort of benefits both of them to drag this game out a little bit longer.
Yeah, and Flowing can also rack up charge little by little to try to set up. It looks like both players can play quite slow, and they need to really judge when it's the right time to attack to get that KO.
Yeah, we see Flowing is able to remove all of the weakness debuffs from his Mega Rock, though gets another one immediately, attacking into Sycophantum, who seems to have Slime Skin, and is not able to take it out. We see Dos Equis using the Shadow's Grasp and trying to take out this Kame, and is able to get quite a bit of damage on it, but you see it's triggering Kame's Revenge passive, which is giving it more charge stacks.
Still, the Rockies cleanse and then also the blind stacks, they do help quite a bit here to limit the Kame's attacks.
For sure, Flowing looked at that preview for Shield Burst, and it seemed like it wasn't going to be doing that much damage. So Mega Rock seems like it's maybe one turn away from being able to knock out this Sitsune with Leaf Slash. He could go for it now and see if he gets lucky with a critical hit.
Yeah, if not for that weakness stack, he probably could have gotten it, but yeah, he decides to go for an antidote instead.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dos
never
Equis' team
mind.
is
He
so good
does
at
go
applying
for
weakness,
it.
but he does go for the Leaf Slash,
Oh,
and Sitsune
barely.
barely survives. Another factor that's really helping out Dos Equis' team here is all of his mons have 3 or 4 barrier buffs, and that's from Sycophantum. It has multi-barrier and charged chant, which gives a chance to apply barrier whenever it gains a charge stack. And over this long game, we see 4, 3, and 4 barrier buffs on Dos Equis' team, and that's really hampering Flowing's offense.
Yeah, and the double spell shield and double mobility makes it harder for Mega Rock to use fiery punches.
Yeah, we see big dodge numbers. Rocky is helping out with that as well. It has Disorient, which gives monsters with weakness a chance to miss their attacks. Kame getting lucky with that antidote, though, cleansing both weakness debuffs on the Mega Rock, and Leaf Slash ignoring dodge and hitting quite hard with 6 age stacks, is able to knock out that Sitsune. So that puts Flowing in a better position. Dos Equis is able to bring in his Draconor, and Sycophantum will start setting it up.
Yeah, Dos Equis has 2 DPSs out, which could be tough, but the Infinity stacks are here, so they possibly can do a lot of damage still.
Draconor goes for the Dark Shroud onto Kame, but Yaoi taunts again, able to save that Kame from what would likely have been a lethal hit.
Yeah, but
now,
so many...
I'm interested to see... Kame has 88 charge stacks and 4 might buffs. I'm interested to see if it's going to go for a physical attack, and we see like good previews on things like Aqua Blast.
Yeah, it could possibly do a lot, but the free weakness stacks, it might be better to go for an antidote before you use up a charge.
Yeah, we'll see. It definitely has probably one attack in it before it has to spend quite a bit of time setting up again. So we'll see how Flowing chooses to use it. We see Meteorite Shower coming out from Mega Rock, not only dealing reasonable damage, but setting up shield for Kame, so it could use a shield burst if it wants to. We see it goes for Aqua Blast instead, also unable to be dodged, and is able to finish off that Draconor.
Yeah, Dos Equis really has to rely on the spinner here to try to take out at least one of the mons here.
Yeah, now it does have 2 Infinity stacks, And Spinner is a fantastic damage dealer, so let's see how much damage it's able to put out. That looks good with 11 bleed stacks and Spinner's deep wounds. That might be able to finish Kame off. But Dos Equis does not want to risk it. He's going to go for the Spore and finish off that Kame with Rocky.
Yeah, the Grula coming out could put Dos Equis in a very tough spot because it can just build so much combo here.
Yeah. We see Yaoi going for the antidote, able to get all of the debuffs off of his Mega Rock. So looks like he's setting up for it to possibly go for a lethal attack here. That wasn't the greatest Solar Burst, but it seems like it's good enough that Mega Rock with Leaf Slash can knock out any one of Dos Equis' ones. Goes for the Sika Phantom because it has Revive and is able to take it out. So Dos Equis is now in a really tough position.
Yeah, it will be very hard to take out any of the mons here.
We see the punch combo from Rocky. That almost knocks out that Grillu. Spinner has to go for the sticky web to finish it off and is able to knock it out. But Flowing gets another turn with his incredibly scary Mega Rock and likely will be able to knock something else out here.
Yeah, and the Protect doesn't help. It will just let Mega Rock survive another turn even past this.
Yeah, and we see Spinner, who resists Earth, still going to get knocked out by Mega Rock just because it has so much power. And down to only one monster, Dos Equis concedes, which means Flowing is going to take that match 3-2 and advance to the finals, while Dos Equis will be playing in the third place match.
Yeah, it looks like the anti-dodge for Flowing was incredibly useful to try to deal with all of the high dodge mons.
Yeah. Both players played that really well, though. It was interesting to see